Hello everybody, this is the first day of the Open Great League, Master League and Ultra League rotation of the Go Battle League season. So today I'm just going to show you two very good team compositions from PVPoke and how to use them, and I'm going to show you some gameplay on how I used these two teams. Okay, today basically is the start of the Open Great League, so basically any Pokemon within 1500 CP is allowed to be used, and I'm going to show you the top meta picks from PVPoke. Okay, so on the screen here you can see PVPoke. I have it here. You can go to train and top performers. This is the page that I'm at, so you can see the top meta Pokemon that are available here. What I mean by top meta is the top meta with reference to the team rating. So what this means is when these Pokemon are part of a certain team composition, it does pretty good against other Pokemon in other different team compositions. Okay, so at the top you can see Diggersby, Morpeko, Annihilape, Talonflame, Toxapex, Malama, Primeape, Dugong, Superior, Clodsire, Azumarill, Feraligatr. Okay, so basically all these are normal top meta Pokemon in the Open Great League. Okay, so what I'm going to show you actually is, if you scroll down here, these are the top teams, top performing teams basically. Okay, and why are they top performing? It's because they are more, they cover the different Pokemon within the team cover each other's weaknesses very well, and what this does is it gives them a better advantage against other team compositions where you will not be so prone to certain threats. You don't have many core breakers, and your team is bulky enough or safe enough for you to enter any situation, and you can basically turn bad situations around as well. Okay, so in this video I'm just going to show you two different teams and how I use the different teams, and how I first of all, how you take so-called you copy a team, and then how you take it and use it to your advantage. Okay, so the first team I'm gonna show is actually this one over here. Okay, Clodsire, Feraligatr. I'm gonna use a Shadow Feraligatr instead, and Primeape. Okay, so this video I'm going to showcase the recent December Community Day, one of the featured Pokemons, which is the Mankey family. I'm going to be featuring Primeape and Annihilape in this video. So the second team I'll be showing as well is the Jumpluff and Annihilape team. Jumpluff, Annihilape and Clodsire. Okay, so let's go into the first team, which is the Clodsire, Feraligatr and Primeape. So yeah, this is the first video. Okay, before I start, okay, I'm going to mute the background noise, and let's see if I can. Okay, I'm going to speed it up to 1.5 so it doesn't take so much time. Okay, so let's go. So before I start the video, I'm going to do an analysis first. So before you start using a team, you need to look at the team composition. Okay, so Clodsire, Feraligatr and Primeape. Basically the one in the middle is your safe swap. So Feraligatr in this case is my safe swap. So for those people who are not familiar with Clodsire, Feraligatr core, basically Clodsire is only weak to ground and psychic and ice. So out of these three things, you want to keep the psychic Pokemon away from Primeape. Okay, you want to keep the, let's say, the ice Pokemon away from Clodsire. So Feraligatr and Primeape is there to cover these few weaknesses of Clodsire, but this team is also so-called like a balanced team. You rarely need to switch out Clodsire because it's so bulky. Okay, so for example, if you're going up against, let's say, an Alolan Sandslash, even a Shadow Alolan Sandslash, it cannot really do much. It doesn't really do a lot of heavy hitting on you, and so you can stay in with Clodsire and try to fire off maybe one Earthquake first, to try and threaten the the Sand Slash or try and take out a shield and then give yourself the advantage. Okay, in this formation, you need to save your shields for Feraligatr and Primeape. Primeape being the most glassy Pokemon, with Karate Chop and the Rage Fist doing a lot of damage. You need to save the shields for Primeape. Okay, so let's go into the gameplay. Okay, this is a continuous video. It's not going to be stopped, so you can see me doing like random phone things. Okay, so Clodsire into Jumpluff. This is not a very hard matchup, so Clodsire is okay into Jumpluff. The opponent switches into Toxapex. Now I'm going to stay in for a while and try to fire off Earthquakes. Yeah, in this game, currently what I'm seeing is basically Clodsire can take out both Jumpluff and Toxapex. So Clodsire to me is very important for these two Pokemon, so I need to try to keep Clodsire alive, and at this point it doesn't seem like opponent is trying to do anything with Toxapex. So if this is his best answer to Clodsire, I don't think he has a very good answer at the back to the other Pokemon. So in my case, basically I'm just going to try and fire off the Stone Edge. Yeah, Clodsire is resistant to almost everything from Jumpluff and Toxapex. So, okay, that's game 1. That wasn't really much of a game, but okay. So, on to the next battle. Okay, so now Clodsire into Salamence. This is also not a very bad matchup. I know my Stone Edges do quite a lot, so I'm going to be firing off the Stone Edge first. And Salamence takes quite long to get to its charge move, so I know I'm at the liberty to try and threaten. Okay, I'm very close to getting knocked out, so I'm going to try and preserve Clodsire because I want to preserve the switch advantage in this scenario, Clodsire being the dominant Pokemon. So I've taken 2 of his shields. Now I'm trying to use Feraligatr to bait out any like grass or ice type, because grass or fairy type. I mean, because I don't want Primeape to be in the face of, let's say, Azumarill or anything. So I'm trying to bait out something. Okay, but nothing gets baited out, so I'm just going to use Feraligatr to try and threaten, do as much damage as possible. Okay, now you see the Hydro Cannon go down. Okay, at this point, why I chose to come in with Primeape is because I still think there's something behind that that can threaten me. So I'm going to come out with Primeape and see whether he switches. So he did switch, so I'm just going to go for the first Rage Fist. Okay, the second one I had to go for Ice Punch. The reason why I didn't go for Close Combat is because I wanted 2 Pokemon that can basically counter Dragon types. So I had an Ice Beam on Feraligatr and I had an Ice Punch on Primeape. Yeah, and you see why Primeape is so powerful. He gets so fast. He gets to his Rage Fist so fast that he outpaces things like Feraligatr. He outpaces most Pokemon, because most of the time they take around 10 turns to get to the first move. But Primeape here takes 8 turns to get to the first Rage Fist. So he's a very spammy Pokemon. Yeah, and every time the Rage Fist gets fired off, the Karate Chop basically increases power. So yeah, okay, so Clodsire into Morpeko, very easy match. So far there's not much things that threaten Clodsire. There's not many things that threaten Clodsire because it's number 1 for a reason is because it's so bulky that yeah, even if you throw a super effective move against Clodsire, he doesn't die. Like he doesn't die to an Earthquake, he doesn't die to Drill Runs, any ground type move, he doesn't die. Okay, so shooting the Aura Wield. Okay, so now he moves into Primarina. So I'm gonna first fire off the first Earthquake. Okay, and then come in with Feraligatr to try and seal it off with Hydro Cannon. Okay, so I'm trying to keep Morpeko for Clodsire or Primeape. Either one of them is fine. So in the case where you are winning lead, you don't really have to worry about energy. You just need to maintain the switch alignment so that you know whatever comes out again is going to be facing one of your strongest Pokemon. Okay, so this team against in this battle is basically no threat to me because I have many counters to basically almost everything on the opponent's team. Yeah, and now Clodsire against Morpeko. So in this battle, the third battle of this set, I didn't really use my full resource. Yeah, it's only Feraligatr and Clodsire. So Clodsire being so bulky and Feraligatr being so spammy, it's basically one of the best cores you can see in the game. Yeah. Okay, coming to the fourth game. I think the last two games are basically the more time-consuming ones. Okay, Malamar into Clodsire. This is a bit tricky because Malamar does super effective side waves, although not very hard hitting. But my aim is to try and get off at least one attack onto Malamar. So he first fires off the foul play, and I'm gonna farm up a bit more before I fire the first Stone Edge. Okay, I don't really want to fire the Earthquake because I know it does maybe about half HP. Now I'm coming with Feraligatr to try and farm down. Okay, he catches Feraligatr onto Whimsicott. So now I know Clodsire has a target, which is the Whimsicott. Yeah, but in this case, I'm gonna try and basically try to win back switch advantage. So I'm gonna try and pressure him with either try to bait with Hydro Cannon. So there is a potential Ice Beam coming, but he doesn't know. So okay, he shields the potential Hydro Cannon. Yeah, and my whole aim here is basically to win back switch advantage. So I'm going to spend 2 shields and I'm just going to fire off Hydro Cannon. So he has to decide whether he wants to save this small amount of HP on Whimsicott or just let it go. So he lets it go. Okay, so now Malamar is on to Feraligatr. And I'm waiting for the switch timer to go down. Okay, he swaps into Bibarel, so I think he wants to try and figure out what's my last Pokemon here, which is probably his mistake because yeah, here comes Primeape, and here you can see Primeape doing a lot of work. First Rage Fist coming out, doesn't do a lot of damage, but he shields, and now you can see how the Karate Chops basically just add up. Yeah, Surf does quite a lot of damage, but Karate Chop basically does more, and now Rage Fist coming. Yeah. In terms of Primeape, you don't really have to worry about charge attack priority because his attack is already so high, and then if you add Rage Fist along with it, the stat is basically going to be amplified. So you probably win many charge attack priority situations unless you're facing a mirror Primeape. Okay, the last battle of this set. So that's 4 wins out of 4. Okay, coming with Clodsire, now we face a Feraligatr. So this is a bit tricky, although the good thing is it's not a Shadow Feraligatr, so I'm gonna try and farm to the first either Stone Edge or Earthquake. See, so I can take one Hydro Cannon. Okay, I'm gonna fire off the Stone Edge. I'm trying to save energy on Clodsire because I know I'm gonna pivot out soon. Okay, and I come in with my own Feraligatr and see what he does. So same thing, I'm gonna try and win back switch advantage. I'll shield this first Hydro Cannon. And I know it's not a Shadow Feraligatr, so I'm going to not shield the second Hydro Cannon. The first one being that I'm trying to preserve my health and see if he switches out or not. Just in case he switches out to something more hard hitting on the fast move. Okay, yeah, here same thing. Try to preserve this Feraligatr. Okay, so the aim of Feraligatr on this team is basically to win back switch advantage if you're in a losing lead, basically. Okay, and comes in with Typhlosion. Okay, doesn't matter if he tries to catch. So he catches a Hydro Cannon on Metagross. So I'm just gonna try and farm down with Primeape because I know Metagross is 6 bullet punches to the first Meteor Mesh. Yeah, and I can just basically clean up with Primeape. Okay, I think the first Thunder Punch is coming. And then now I have energy on Clodsire because he needs the second Thunder Punch, sorry, the second Incinerate before he goes to the Thunder Punch. So it's just nice I can get to 2 Poison Stings before him. Yeah. So that is 5 wins out of 5. Okay, so I will stop the video here and I'm just going to do a bit of analysis. So basically what you can see from this team is that Clodsire doesn't really get into many okay, let's look at it here. Yeah, Clodsire doesn't get into many bad leads basically. Okay, so what this team encompasses is basically consistency because it has good moveset. It's quite safe because it can pivot like you saw Feraligatr, right? It as long as I use 2 shields on it, it can basically turn a losing scenario into a winning scenario. Also, moderate bulk because Primeape is very glassy, Clodsire is very bulky, so it becomes like a very constant, very average bulk team. Okay, the only threats, yeah, these are the threats we have to worry about because all these at the top basically don't have any, like if anything comes out, we don't have any counters to it. Okay, so like Hypno, he gets to Thunder Punch quite fast, I think 4 confusions, although we do Shadow Claw damage very well, but he can basically counter Clodsire and Primeape, I think, with the confusions. Saber Eye, because Saber Eye resists Primeape and Clodsire, everything basically. Dark type resists Feraligatr's Shadow Claw, yeah, and the rest you can figure out for yourself. Okay, so yeah, this is the first team I'm going to showcase. The second team I'm going to showcase basically is the Jumpluff, Annihilape and Clodsire team. So notice I use Clodsire a lot. First thing is because it's very good at tanking, at turning shields, because it has very heavy hitting moveset, which is the Stone Age and Earthquake. Anything that is your weakness or even neutral, sometimes you got to shield. So I think that's the strength of Clodsire, and then added to the fact that it's already so tanky. Okay, so yeah, Clodsire is a constant in my team. Annihilate, basically I want to show off the Community Day Rage Fist, and then we have the Jumpluff as the lead. Okay, so same thing, we come back to analysis. What does this team encompass? It's basically Jumpluff doesn't have many weaknesses because it's also quite bulky. Okay, so this team is actually more bulky than the previous one. The previous one is actually glassy at the back, so you need Clodsire at the front to try and tank a lot of hard hits first. The team currently that I'm going to showcase is quite a little bit more bulky. Okay, if we see you can see in the analysis here. Yeah, if you see, okay, so BABB. The reason why it's better is because it covers a lot of threats. It's very safe. It's not super safe like the Clodsire one because it has a lot of matchups that might be able to threaten all 3 of your Pokemon. One example I can think of is Azumarill. If you have Azumarill with energy, I think Ice Beam threatens Jumpluff. Play Rough threatens the Annihilate, and then you have Clodsire, which cannot really tank. Can maybe a maximum of 2 Ice Beams you can tank, but that's about it. So if you have Azumarill on any of the other 2, I think it's quite difficult as well. Okay, so this is just on top of my head. But yeah, if you besides that, I think against the general meta threat, this team is very bulky. This team has consistent movesets, okay, and it's moderately safe, I guess. Okay, so let's go into the video. So okay, similarly we're gonna put it at 1.5 speed, and this is a continuously running video. Okay, Jumpluff, Annihilate and Clodsire. So the thing we got to worry about is if Jumpluff faces ice Pokemon. So when you face ice, you need to swap into Annihilate as your safe swap. Okay. Okay, so Malamar to Jumpluff. This is a very good scenario. Fairy Wind does super effective damage. Malamar does neutral Psy Waves. Okay, so switch into Toxapex. We don't want to put Annihilate onto Toxapex, so we put Clodsire. Reason being that Annihilate, although it resists the poison stings, but Clodsire has the hard-hitting Earthquake, so the aim is basically to try and take out the shield as fast as possible, or the basically the safe swap that the opponent has. Okay, so we know Malamar is there. We need Jumpluff onto Malamar. I'm trying to basically over farm because Toxapex farms very slow into Brine and Starch Wave, and it doesn't really do much effect. And I want at least a move on Clodsire. Yeah, so here I'm just gonna let Clodsire go. Wait for the switch timer, coming with Jumpluff. Okay, so now opponent swaps into Diggersby. Very, very good scenario. Okay, although he catches my move, but notice that I'm up on energy. So one thing that I like to do in my games is to try and store a move before I switch out. So if you saw in the first lead, right, I took quite a while before I swapped out from Jumpluff into Clodsire when I faced the Toxapex. So I just wanted to store some energy so that the next time I come in, I'm ready for the next Pokemon. Now you see Annihilate basically trashing Diggersby. Okay, so in this case, similarly, Annihilate is basically like the turnover point. I need to use both shields to try and take it out. Okay, and then coming in with Jumpluff to try and close the match. Yep, at this point, opponent basically resigns the match. Okay, the reason why I wanted to showcase Annihilate and Primeape is because I know in the meta there's Diggersby and Dunsparce, which is very high. Reason being they are both counters to, not counters, like they both resist the Galarian Corsola. So I wanted to have a team where it basically the entire team resists the entire team is good against Diggersby, against Dunsparce, and the entire team is also not so heavily damaged by Morpeko, which is one of the top threats in the Open Great League. Okay, Jumpluff into Trevenant. I'm just going to try and fire off Aerial Aces as much as possible. So in this game, wondering why he doesn't switch, so I'm not sure. So it's okay. Energy Ball into Vestodon. Vestodon is at 4 Rock Throws at this moment. Rock Throws or Smackdowns, I can't remember what's the move. Okay, coming in with Annihilape. Okay, gonna shield up the first Stone Edge. Although Annihilape resists, I just want to preserve it. Okay, and this is the reason why I bring Ice Punch on my Annihilapes or Primeapes. If you notice that this entire team doesn't have ice moves, so I'm really trying to threaten this Gasslot. Brutal Swing will do quite a lot on Annihilape, so okay, at this point I'm going to fire Rage Fist because I want to try and farm down this Gasslot with my Karate Chop and then catch. Okay, I decided to go on catch on Clodsire because I know at the back Clodsire is going to be useful with all this energy, so I'm going to try and farm down with Poison Sting basically as much as possible, and then when the Vestodon comes out I'm going to fire the Earthquake. Yeah, that's basically the plan. Okay, so in this situation there are actually many win conditions, so I just took one of them. Yeah, so far in the Open Great League, if you follow PVPoke's Pokemon team suggestions, you will notice that the leads are actually very good, meaning that you don't actually get into many bad leads, or even if you do get into a bad lead, you can still stay in for a while. It doesn't mean that you will instantly evaporate from the fast move or the charge move of the opponent's lead. So if you notice that Jumpluff lead and the Clodsire lead that I had, both didn't really have much trouble into the different teams. Yeah. Okay, so this third game is basically voided because the opponent surrendered. Okay, so we go into the fourth game. Okay, Jumpluff into Chestnut, equally good scenario. Jumpluff Fairy Winds is super effective onto Chestnut because it's fighting type, and then I can fire Aerial Ace, which is double super effective, so he has to shield this. Okay, and then we see what he does. Okay, he tries to catch onto Talonflame, which is not the worst. Still does a bit of damage. I come in with Clodsire. So here I'm just gonna try and fire as Stone Ages. I know he's in the switch lock, so I'm just gonna like fire as much as possible. Okay, so he gives up Talonflame. Notice the opponent also has a underpowered Chestnut. It's at 1460, so I'm not sure why he's playing with it, but it's okay. Just means another easy match for us. Here I'm gonna shoot up Clodsire because I know I need to preserve Clodsire. Okay, and then I'm just gonna fire off the Earthquake. Okay, I'm gonna come in with Jumpluff to try and resist all the moves. So at this point I don't think I shielded any. Yep, so it's a superpower. And opponent basically is triple weak into Jumpluff, so not a very hard game. Yeah, I think at this point, yeah, it's a surrender. Yep, so I do recommend everybody that watches this video to try and follow the teams that PVPoke recommends, because the teams there are basically there for a reason. It's based on data they've collected and what are the best matchups or leads to use, what are the best safe switches to use. So it's really a very good tool for everyone to try to use and use to your advantage, basically. Okay, so winning charge attack priority on the Aerial Ace. The first Aerial Ace I didn't really go for charge attack priority because I wanted to see if he was gonna safe swap into something and catch my move, but he didn't, so we're gonna just fire Aerial Aces, and this is the part where he catch. Oh no, he didn't catch. Okay, so he fired off the Aerial Ace. I was waiting for the catch. Okay, and then it caught. Yeah, so comes into Gastrodon. Okay, now I'm just gonna try and fire off the Energy Ball. I was expecting him to shield, but I don't know why he didn't shield. So yeah, it basically just takes him out. And then Drapion against Jumpluff. So I'm just gonna let this go. Okay, I'm gonna try and save the shield for Annihilape this time. Coming in with Annihilape, going to fire off the Rage Fist. Okay, the first attack is Crunch, so I will shield up the Crunch. Yeah. Poison Stings will be resisted on the Ghost typing of Annihilape. Yeah, another Crunch. Okay, so I'm going to fire off the next Rage Fist. So this Rage Fist will be amplifying the attack by 2, so second shield gone. And now I'm going to come in with Clodsire. Why I came in with Clodsire is basically to try and resist the attacks. I'm trying to fire out energy, because I know the last guy is Jumpluff again, so I need to have a move ready for Jumpluff. And I don't really have strong hitting moves on Annihilape except for Ice Beam, Ice Punch. So I need to take out Drapion and then have another move ready, which is like this. Yeah. So I didn't want to face my Annihilape onto Jumpluff's Fairy Wind because that's quite pain. So yeah. Okay, so that's the end of the second set of 5. So far we've gone through 10 out of 10 matches. Okay, if you want to look more into PVPoke, you can just go to the Great League rankings and then you can see what are the top threats. Here especially there's 2 records for Clodsire. The Sludge Bomb is actually higher, although I find that the Stone Age Clodsire is much better because you cover flying type weaknesses. If you go to the team, this one, the first team, right, actually it's not very effective on flying types, especially Talonflame, things like Skarmory. Like they don't really do well, these three Pokemon don't really do well against these two if you don't have Stone Edge on Clodsire. So although you have Ice Beam, but Ice Beam is resisted by Talonflame. Primeape, Close Combat and Ice Beam both resisted as well. So it's quite necessary to bring Stone Edge on Clodsire. Okay, yeah, and basically my advice for this open Great League is to try and understand the meta and more. Bring more Pokemon that are safe. Like basically anything in this top 20, top 30 Pokemon are pretty safe. Okay, and yeah, when you have teams recommended to you, or when you are using teams, basically just make sure you understand the synergy of the team. Like what kind of situations do you need to switch out from your lead, what kind of situations do you not need to switch out, what kind of situations do you need to win back switch advantage, for example using your safe swap. Okay, and then also try to understand what are the different roles your Pokemon can do. Like Clodsire is not basically not an attacker, so you will never switch safe swap Clodsire in this scenario, Jumpluff against Clodsire, because you know that Jumpluff is weak against ice, so you will never safe swap Clodsire into directly into an ice Pokemon. Yeah, so yeah, that's about it. So that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching the examples and the breakdowns of my two teams that I've used, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much.